I have to wait a second. Make sure this is working. It's not loading. Interesting. Oh, because there it is. Very nice. All right, so here's my MSI Pickems. I'll do a quick rundown of the play-ins. I actually performed very poorly. If you look at the top 84, I did say at the time that the other three teams, like T1 was for sure. I did say that the other three are more of a toss-up, that they could go any way. So I got D1 correct, but of course everyone's picking T1, so I got the other three entirely wrong. Yes. Okay, so let's go to the knockouts. Will I continue to be an idiot? We'll see. I'm saying BLG Golden Road, but you could I like HLE or T1 are probably the next two favorites. So if I go from top to bottom, right? We're looking at BLG over T1 for me, but you could pick T1 and you'd be fine. I'm saying Lion versus Furia. I think that's pretty favored for Lion. Furia could win, but yeah, Lion should be clearing there. HLE should be clearing here. That is a ginormous upset. TSW are probably could be the worst team remaining in the tournament. Furia is, I think Furia is better than TSW, but could be wrong. So HLE and then G2 over TES, and you could go either way there. I believe people are saying so G2 beat look better than TES based on first stand, so that's why I'm going G2. But TES are still a good team, right? They did get 3-0'd by BLG, but BLG are still a good team. Okay. Next up, we'll finish my winners bracket. So, BLG over Lion, I think that one makes sense. And if you had T1 here and you pick them over, and you pick T1 all the way, good for you. That is a possibility. HLE, I'm picking over G2. G2 are still good, but I think HLE are very, very good right now. They are like, you know, if I'm not rooting for Golden Road, I think HLE is the best team at the tournament. So, yeah. So, again, the only thing I have against BLG is that they struggled versus WE in their region, and WE is not a good team outside of that. So HLE do look really good domestically in Korea, so I could easily see HLE clearing here. So if I'm being absolutely serious of what I think will happen, probably HLE. I'll be honest with you, but we'll see. We'll cheese it. We'll play around here. You know what? Because the problem with me, I don't want to pick T1 because if I pick T1, then I'm not winning this. So far from what we've seen, T1 has more experience at the moment, but that when I think back to the struggles BLG have had against WE, that makes me scared. So I'm gonna actually change things a bit here. I'm gonna go Korea dominance, but see, this upset could happen. We'll change things up a bit here, and then yeah, okay. So going back through, I've changed my mind. I'm doing T1. BLG versus WE scares me, so I'll do T1. They're more ready to go, I guess you could say. But you know, BLG has more information, but T1 are looking really good. Lion, yeah, still whatever team here is winning that. So then I go look here. The big change is I'm doing HLE over T1. HLE just look really, really good domestically. They could fail because it is international, but we'll see. They are still in Korea, so maybe international doesn't play effect on a Korea versus Korea match in Korea. Lower bracket. Yeah, I'm sorry, Furia and TSW. You guys are not clearing this at this stage. So, uh, yeah. So basically, yeah. The only surprise could be G2 could be a surprise. If I do percentages and everything, right? So like if I go from the very beginning, BLG T1, very close, 55, 45. Yeah, yeah. Lion Firen. That's not, I wouldn't doubt Firen that much, but let's say seven. I'll do 60, 40. 70, 70, 30. I think Firen is pretty bad, dude. Could be wrong. HLE versus TWSW. That is probably the biggest mismatch in the entire tournament. Maybe BLG Furia could be worse, but this has potential to have the fastest game one in the tournament, unless TSW are goofing or unless HLE are goofing around. So I like if I look at my crystal ball, I have TSW is like the worst game time. So HLE over TSW, that is like 90-10. That's like 99-1, but 90-10. G2 over Tess. That is a really close one. 55-45 one there as well. So all the close ones in this event. T1 over Lion. Sure. Based on how strong, I'll do 60-40. So T1 is still favored, of course. If BLG was here, same thing, 60-40. I don't think, I think Lyle will be stronger at Worlds if they keep their momentum up, because they've steadily been building up through the last season, through the whole year, gelling with each other and everything. So I don't think they're strong enough at this point. G2 have been together for a long time. HLE kinda. Yeah, HLE probably 60-40. G2 is pretty good, man. They did come second at first stand, right? And it's not something you the doubt. And here, HLE just it makes sense that HLE is first in Korea right now. Fighting another Korean team, it makes sense. But you can always go T1. T1, I would expect most people to be choosing to win the whole thing, just like based on fan power. BLG, I'm choosing over Furia. That's another giant mismatch. That's like not. It's like 90-10 again. BLG sometimes. Never know. I'll do 80-20. Test versus TSW, same. Test can randomly int though, but I'll do like 70-30 for Test. Lower bracket BLG is favored. I'll do 60-40. G2 are pretty good, but I don't think they're this is the team they lost to at first stand, right? So have to expect it would happen again. Test versus Lion. This one possible. Test can throw internationally. Do I go crazy with it and believe in Lion? I don't, because Lion, I haven't seen them be tested, right? Tests, I've seen. Lion, I haven't seen them face any good team. Like they just in LCS they just dominated, right? Like they had one close series at one point, and then they just dominated the rest of the playoffs. So, and then tests they got dominated by PLG, right? And other than that, they did well. So it's hard. So I go ahead test just because China normally is stronger than NA, but I could win that. That's possible, but I'll say like 60% test favor. 60-40. All right, BLG tests. Let's see here. Yeah, BLG dominated them, so China over China makes sense. And T1 versus BLG. Uh, T1 at International, they're looking really good, man. Like that bot lane is, but they brought Doran brought it up, Uh, uh, what Gigabin like said Doran's not looking so good. So maybe bin diff will occur, but it is a team game. Um, and I mean Knight is really good as well, right? But a T1 bot lane, man, it's just holy. And BLG, I think they have Viper, right? He's been underperforming a bit domestically, just a bit, not like massively, but uh, it's just so hard for me to doubt Kyria and Pays, man. Uh, that tops, and then owner too, man. Like it's just so hard to doubt T1 here. So, uh, and then but then HLE I think still does it. They're HLE, Zeus, oof, and then Zeka, oof. They're just looking real good, man. And I'm just going off that, you know, top team being top team. So there is a slight idea here, is that T1 is fighting BLG twice, so they could be learning the meta a little with stronger opponents. HLE's path, until they fight T1, could be too easy, and they could like not have enough of a meta read, you know? And so I could go crazy with it and say T1 just has so much more meta read experience at this point, you know? But then at that point, yikers, that's messing with everything, right? Um, I'm gonna screw it. We'll get crazy with it, all right? Because so much of this is not easily predictable to me, right? Um, I'm gonna go crazy storyline. All right. Do I go full storyline and say HLE BLG? I'm going cinema storyline. All right. I feel like I'm inting this, but cinema storyline. All right. I'm changing everything up. Here we go. HLE or BLG? What do I want here? In Korea. HLE look really good. And then I should believe T1 mental boomed them all. Or do I believe in the HLE? All right. I'm going HLE. Holy moly. This is I'm making a story here, all right? You could honestly a lot of these could go anyway. All right. Upper bracket, BLG T1. I'm going T1 now. I've changed my mind. You could go BLG. They are on the golden road. You know? I did favor them, but T1 has some playing experience. Perhaps they have the meta read. I'm really believing in that Pays Carrier owner over BLG. Bin could bin diff everyone. Knight could do Knight things, right? But I'm going T1. And T1 will carry on here. And they'll carry on here. HLE? Do we come back to it? We'll come back to it. All right. Lion over Fury. Yeah, Lion's looking real good. They haven't really been challenged though, so but Fury, who knows? Maybe you're a believer in Fury. Up to you. HLE, yeah, that is like I said earlier, biggest mismatch of the event, probably. G2 over tests. You could go either way. Truly could go either way. BLG T1 could go either way, but I'm going G2. We're risking it. All right. We go back up here. Second Upper bracket. Here we go. Here we go. T1 over Lion. Seems like a done deal. Again, the idea is Lion hasn't really been tested. They could get stronger over the year. I think they're still gelling. They're still figuring out the team. At Worlds, I think Lion will be more of a threat, but at the time, T1, world champion. Let's go. HLE, G2. HLE, they're the #1 Korea team. They historically #1 Korea wins it all, right? They're the best. G2, eh, they did beat Korea at first stand, you know, so there's a chance. It's possible. G2 could do it. They did upset Gen G, but HLE are looking real good. So I'm going to HLE. All right, then we have T1 HLE. I'm going to say at this point, T1 will win at this point. But I will come to the finals later where I flip it. But at this point, T1. T1 at this point has faced BLG. They have faced stronger competition. They will have a better meta read. So either BLG or T1 will be here, and I think both will go to the finals over HLE at this point. But wait and see. I believe HLEs will still win it all. Because at this point, HLE only has experience against TSW and G2. And if G2 does not perform well, HLE will not have very strong opponents at this point. G2 could prove me wrong, and then everything gets thrown through a loop, but I'm storytelling here. I'm making a story here. All right, lower bracket time. BLG clears Furia, Test clears TSW. Sorry, those are like the two worst teams. Yeah, you can't. At this point, then BLG will fight G2. And at this point, I am believing in BLG. The Golden Road is still alive. Tess versus Lion. Unfortunately, like I'm saying, Lion, I don't think are ready for international at this point. They are dominating NA, but Tess, sorry, got it. It could happen. I could be a believer. I could throw my pick. My pickups are already pretty ass. Do I continue the story? Do I continue my goofy story? Who I'm selling myself on it. All right, I'm selling myself on it. We're going Lion. We're going BLG. BLG clears this no matter who they face. Okay, there's. All right, we're going BLG, but I got to give some hope to NA. All right, NA Lion. You know, first stand G2. You had your moment. All right. Now it's Lion's time to have a moment. All right, there you go. Okay. Not a big moment though. BLG still clears your ass, but you got something. All right, I'm storytelling. All right, HLE BLG at this point. All right, BLG Golden Road. HLE #1 team in Korea. They lost to T1. Are they mental boomed? Is HLE mental boomed, or is HLE mental boomed? Is BLG on that route for the Golden Road? No, HLE is figuring it out. They've figured it out. They went head to head with T1. They fixed themselves. Or do I believe in the BLG Golden Road? Who? Am I gonna mind map myself all the way back to my original thought process with BLG Golden Road? Holy no. I can't do it. I want the BLG Golden Road so bad, dude. I want it. I need it, but no. I'm going I'm going for HLE. And then finally, finals. It'll be a rematch, but this time I think HLE will do it. You know? And you know why? It's because they're the #1 in Korea. And after fighting BLG, after fighting T1, they'll figure out the meta. They'll come back in the finals stronger, and they'll do it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling whoever comes in the losers final, I think they're gonna win it. I'm going crazy mode. All right. You know what? I don't believe in these pick'ems. I think too many of these matches are too close to tell. I think League is in a good spot. There's a ton of 3-0s right now. So last year MSI was a ton of game vibes. This one has been a ton of 3-0s so far. Um, maybe it's mental booming. Who knows? But this is my pick. HLE. They just looking hot right now, man. Zeka, Zeus. Holy, looking good. So that's my pick'ems. I could be entirely wrong. You know what? My plans was entirely wrong, except for T1. Of course, I picked T1. Who's not gonna pick T1 for that? You know what? And maybe not picking T1 here will doom me again. But it's fun. I've thrown the pick'ems. I threw it play-ins. I might as well throw the knockouts. So I told a story. I've told my journey. HLE does it through the loser bracket. There you go. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe and all that stuff.